I'll just stand and talk to you right here. My name is Mr. Wood. I am teaching senior current issues, econ, and government in this, our COVID year. And I just wanted to say hi, introduce myself, let you know what I am, what I'm looking forward to this year and what I expect. Number one, we are in a global pandemic. I respect science. And I respect health. Masks are above the nose and below the chin, no exceptions. We need to have health first and foremost in our school this year. And I expect that all people that come into this school will keep their peers in mind, their teachers in mind, their grandparents and their parents in mind, and it respects science as well. So that's important to me. All of my classes, senior current issues, economics, and government, revolve around the same thing: being awake, being aware, being involved in the world. We live in a real, unique time. And these three issues, these three topics, they intersect. Now, we're going to have problems covering all of our curriculum. There's just no doubt about it. It's just not going to be what it normally is. I love my classroom, and as you can see, I travel a lot. I've been to Africa. In senior current issues, we talk about Africa. Africa's fascinating to me. Over here is Close Up. I do the Close Up program. Help Heal Haiti. We get involved in things around the world. And in 2010, we raised $2,600 for Haiti. This is my BA from Michigan State, my master's from Western Michigan University. I earned a James Madison Fellowship. A James Madison Fellowship goes to one social studies teacher per state per year, $25,000 fellowship. I took the 2010 school year off and on sabbatical, went back to Western Michigan and got a master's in political science. That time at Western in the political science department working on my master's was one of the most intellectually rewarding experiences I've ever had in my life. We'll do in senior current issues, we will concentrate on college scholarships, which is really important. You think about the times we live in and how much it costs to go to school. I think it's really important, both in economics, that we talk about it and understand it, and in senior current issues that I provide time for people to search scholarships, particularly since this year will be the first time in 7. I don't think we're going to have a college advisor, but that's okay. I work hard on that route. So if you have problems with college, with navigating it, I'm a good resource. 3 summers ago, I went to Vietnam and Laos for 6 weeks. That was fascinating. I think the civil rights movement is the greatest American movement in regards to standing up for your rights and doing so nonviolently. We live in a turbulent time that intersects race and institutions of government and police, and there's been a lot of violence, and it just makes me so much more respectful of the civil rights movement, because how do you pull that off? How do you do what happened in the civil rights movement with nonviolence? Maps are important. Geography is important. This will be, as the election goes on, we will have a map of the United States up there, and we will break down the election. I believe that if you have a platform, whatever that platform is, wherever that platform is, that you stand up. Tommy Smith and John Carlos in the '68 Olympics. If you give me a fish, you have fed me for a day. If you teach me to fish, then you have fed me until the river is contaminated or the shoreline seized for development. But if you teach me to organize, then whatever the challenge, I can join together with my peers and we will fashion our own solution. That's the key, isn't it? Isn't it the key in government to be involved, to grab your peers and fight for what you believe in, to be knowledgeable? We live in a time when people shout and scream at each other, but most of the time they don't know what they're shouting and screaming about. And so I'm going to do my best to help you to find your voice. Whatever the case, I don't care. I don't care if it's climate change. I will support you, or voting rights, or school dress codes. I will be there to help you make your statement. Since 2003, I've taken kids to Selma, Alabama, every other year. We fly into Atlanta, spend 5 days in the South. We bury ourselves in the civil rights movement and cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge in remembrance of the Bloody Sunday back in 1965. We're scheduled to do that in March of 2020, COVID allowing. Be ashamed to die until you've won a victory for humanity? Absolutely. Come on. Think about it. We learned so much through COVID about how we are connected in what responsible behavior is and what it isn't. Why is the United States allied with India and Brazil when it comes to not getting this virus under control? Well, I mean, because we need to respect masks. We need to respect each other. We need to respect social distancing. And so everybody can have their own little square of what's important and what they need to do for humanity and their fellow man. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Bob Marley. Okay, so here we are. What matters to me? I teach because teaching is important. I want a job that's important. I teach because nothing is more significant than raising the awareness of young people, of allowing them their voice, of helping them to find their voice and to seek a direction that they seem and see is best for them. I teach because I think young people are the key to the future success of this planet. I teach because when you teach, especially social studies, you have to continue to educate yourself. And I want a job where I have to educate myself. And if I'm going to do a good job, I got to continue to educate myself. I love the fact that teaching provides me a chance to stay in touch with my ex-students. This summer, since March, I have had so many cups of coffee with ex-Oak Ridge students. I have had so many pints of beer with ex-students outside. I just really have enjoyed those times. And you know what? Teaching allows me to travel. And I've been to quite a few places. And I try to bring students along to allow them to have the same awakenings, opportunities at awakenings. Awakening only comes from within, that I've had. So that's why I teach. I'll be honest with you, if I don't feel that this school district is treating this virus with the respect that it must, with the safety that it must, if things aren't as they need to be, then I will step back. I don't need to be here. I've got 36 years teaching, and I could have retired, but I came back because I wanted to do my best, not to be afraid, to help students, Oak Ridge students, move through this difficult time, to continue my mission, which is to help students to become awake. Those are my goals. And to try to convey the idea, or try to convey what I believe is pivotal, which is the fact that we live in a first world, you know. I've been to Mali, where these three girls are in a village in Ségou. And you look at this picture and they're not getting out of there. They're not going to get out of there. The girl in the middle gets it. Something's going on, isn't it? Something is happening. Something is happening there. The other two, it's not. But something's happening to her. She's awake. She's aware of something. And when you look at when you travel out into the third world, and you go to places like Vietnam, and Laos, Mali, Uganda, and you realize that people still are striving to do the best that they can do, but you also realize that you live here in the first world. And in the first world, you can do and be and say whatever you want to do through education. And I remind this picture reminds me of that every day, particularly if you're a girl. If you're a young girl, your options are limited. Those three girls, if they are alive today, and I don't imagine, since this thing is about 15 years old, that they're all alive, but they're not getting out of that village. And if you are a young girl in the United States, you can get out of your village. You can pop the bubble. You can move on. You must. You must. But first you got to become awake. The Buddha came down from the mountain. The wise man said, "Are you a god? Or are you a man?" And the Buddha said, "I am awake." We are going to strive to be awake, to be aware, and then to act on that awareness. That's the goal. Welcome to Oak Ridge. Welcome to my classroom. Welcome to me.
My name is Lai.